Yet another episode of the Dawning Experience with Chami Moroke. On today's episode, we will be raising awareness on GBVF. And I have an amazing guest who's going to explain it to me. I want us to have a conversation about GBV so that we understand the types of it and also what actually causes it. So we also want to know what social development is also doing. But before we get into that, let me just remind you that this production is brought to you by Dream Steam Studios. All you need to do is just get in touch with us, dial their numbers that is appearing right now, and also hit them up on their socials on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Sawubona siswami.
Hi.
Unjani?
Ngiyavila unjani?
Awusemuhle, awusadlowi, kwenzakalani?
Thank you.
In orange and all that.
Thank you.
Let me just take this moment to welcome you.
Yes, thank you very much for having me here today.
Yes.
It's very wonderful.
Sis.
So my name is Yolanda Matikinca, and I'm a social worker from Social Development in the Gauteng Metro region, and I work in the gender-based violence unit. So we deal specifically with gender-based violence and femicide, as well as human trafficking issues. Yes.
So, with today's episode, we want to raise awareness, on GBV. So I want you to take me through to what is GBV and also the F part of it. What does it mean?
All right. So GBV is gender-based violence, and gender-based violence is basically the violence that is perpetrated on one gender to another gender. And the one thing that we always have, I don't want to say we are confused about it, but the one thing we always think that gender-based violence is perpetrated against females by males.
Yeah.
However, gender-based violence is, like I'm saying, it's from one gender to the other.
True.
So it can be from man to woman, from woman to woman in a relationship. It can also be from woman to man.
True.
Yes. So it's from one gender to the other.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the femicide then is the killing of a female.
Yeah.
By another gender, because it's usually because of gender-based violence. Yes.
Oh, wow. So now, I love the fact that you got to explain that it's not only females. It's also even the men.
Yes, but the other issue is because men rarely report, which is why we never have the numbers of the men being victims of gender-based violence.
Do you think, I've heard about that. Do you think it's because they just scared of being actually judged when they go to the police station?
That's very true. You remember, men are supposed to be providers, men are supposed to be macho and all those things. Yeah. So now if a man goes to a police station and say, hey, Fetu, my wife beat me up,
exactly.
Unfortunately, which is the wrong, because they're also there as victims. So that's one of the reasons why they don't report. And then they sit there and wallow in their self-pity instead of going to report or going to seek help.
And it messes up their minds, actually, mentally.
Yes, it does.
It's affecting them.
It does. And the other, but we'll get into the types of...
it's actually next. Coming back.
So there's different types of gender-based violence. And one of them is emotional abuse. And emotional abuse is different because there's no scars. You can't see. And I think also with men, that's the most... That's the one that's perpetrated against them the most, because person will belittle you, or I'll say, especially when you're not working, remember, and now someone's like, but you're supposed to be the provider, you're not providing, and they belittle at you, and that also eats at your self-confidence. So it's the psychological, the emotional abuse. That's the one that is up there, but because there's no scars, there's no physical evidence of that you are being abused. That's the one that people don't actually get to see, but that's the one that actually happens the most.
Whew, it's hectic.
Very.
Now let's get into the other types, because you just touched on the first one.
Yeah.
There's also the physical one. Please explain that.
So the physical is the one that everyone knows, everyone sees. It's you beating me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the physical abuse. And like I'm saying, it usually, the women are usually the victims, or the stronger gender is the victim, because is the perpetrator, I mean. So like I'm saying, if it's man to woman, woman to woman, a man to man in a relationship. So whoever is a stronger one between the two will be the one who actually will be the perpetrator of that.
Yo, guys, then yeah. So The other one, I know, you spoke about the psychological. Is there
Yeah.
also that one? Please tell me
Yeah.
about the psychological violence.
So psychological and emotional are usually they're combined. They're almost similar because it's a psyche. So I'm eating at you in your psychological. So I'm telling you you're useless. I'm telling you you're worthless, and also the stalking as well. Or and sometimes so for example, you have a boyfriend and this boyfriend will take you to a party.
Yes.
No, I'll take you. I'm going to see my family. No, I'll take you.
Yeah.
He's basically isolating, like he's not giving you the freedom.
Of course.
So you are dependent on this person. And because then they start also isolating you from your people. So I'll take you to work, but then I'm the driver. So I'll take you to where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And then you also have to go according to him. So no, I can't take you there. I'll take you there. You can only go to work. Oh no, actually you don't have to go to work. So you stop going to work. And those things are it starts very small. So that's also the psychological, because now they're trying to, they are basically, you are limited to where you can go. They're limiting your movement. They're limiting everything about you. So that's also the psychological abuse. You being isolated, you being taken to where you have to go. You have no freedom. Yes, yes. And no, today you don't look good. Hey, today, I don't like that outfit on you. So it's small things. And you know what? One thing about domestic violence, that at this, we don't even know that you're being abused. Because if someone says, no, I'll take you. Exactly.
Yes.
No, I don't have to drive because he'll take me. And you think it's love, because yes. But actually they mapping out the abuse. They are, like I'm saying, they are isolating you from people. They are making you dependent on them.
Other people do not matter.
No, because he's your semi-god. And like I'm saying, you don't see it at first. And only later on you see, actually, I don't have friends.
Yeah. I don't
have family because this person, and now after that, then if they can do anything to you, because who do you go to? Who do you run to?
There's no one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hectic one.
Very.
Gosh. So, Sis Yolanda, let's also get into the sexual violence. You know, this one, boyfriend, but people will say,
yes, yes. So with rape, basically is someone forcing you to have sex with them, right? So whether it's your boyfriend or your husband, you also have the right to say no. I don't feel like having sex today. And I think as a person, you can say no. And also as men, you have the right to say, I don't want to sleep with you. But then as soon as then that person does it, after you had said no, that's rape. Whether it's your husband, whether it's your partner, whether it's anyone. And the problem is we don't see, when you're in a relationship, you feel that you're supposed to have sex with this person.
Yes.
Especially when you're married, it's even worse. Because especially with us Black people.
Yes. I was about to say that.
Yes. Yes. I paid lobola for you, so Manje, why are you saying no?
Why are you depriving him?
Yes. Yeah. And like I went to a training last week, and this man was like, he was getting married a few weeks ago. And back liar was, what's liar?
Yes, liar.
Yes, yes. And they're like, no, a woman doesn't get angry from the waist down. So do you understand that also our cultures are making this a norm?
True.
Because if you can't tell me at my wedding day that I can't get angry from the waist down, because what is that? So basically the elders are saying it's okay. It must happen.
It must happen.
Yes, which is why
they're actually promoting it.
Our culture is also promoting these things. Because also I was reading somewhere that when you get married, bagniki kissed, ne?
Yep.
That kiss is actually your coffin. Your coffin.
Yeah.
Yes. You are leaving.
Yeah.
You only come when you come back in a box. So basically, that's why in other families as well, when you come home after your husband is beating you up, they say, "How? Go back to where you come from." Like other people have actually said that, I can't even go back home because they'll say I must go back because
Of course.
So do you understand that also our cultures are perpetuating?
They actually
That word.
forcing us, Guti.
They're this thing of GBV. So it's up to us then to educate our elders, to educate our men, to educate our gogos that actually, guys, this is not supposed to happen like this. We have rights.
But are we winning? Because abantu abadala stereotype and just saying no.
And it's us in urban areas. It's much better. We educated, so we know what's right, we know what's wrong. The problem is when you go back home, you go back to the villages, you go back to like deep rural Eastern Cape, deep rural KZN, deep rural Limpopo. Then that's where the problem is, because those people are still stuck to their ways. You know how women are, like, we're still discussing this in the training, that you go to these other places and when they have meetings, it's only men. There's no woman. So then how do I as a woman voice my opinion to men if I'm not even allowed to speak? So if that happens in the community, how much more when you're in the house?
In the house, yeah.
So as women, we're not even seen in our households. So we can't go to the community and then expect to be seen if you're not seen at home. So this thing, I don't know how we're going to win it, but we need to start penetrating in the rules. Because yes, it still happens, but I don't think it's as bad as the rules. And also when you go to the rural areas, they're not even reporting because it's a norm.
It is.
Okay. At least I'm
move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the provider. He's doing everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's hope as time goes.
Our only hope is that our generation changes so that the next generation doesn't have to undergo all these things.
This.
Yeah.
So Yolanda, let's get into also the verbal abuse.
So the verbal abuse is it also goes hand in hand with the psychological and the emotional. So it's the belittling. It's telling you don't matter. Like just making sure that you are eating away at the person's self-confidence. And like it's just attacking them. And also when you attack me and you're eating my self-confidence, there's nothing left of a person. I'm just a shell.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it worse. Because you eating away at me. I don't even know how to stand up for myself.
Of course.
Because I can't. There's nothing inside of me to live to fight.
Because you're always thinking about it.
Yes. Too. And you also, like, we're people. So if someone says, I'm ugly, more than once, it's going to ring in my mind, I'm worthless.
Yeah.
You're going to keep thinking about it. And that's basically what it is. Just eating away the person's confidence so that they don't have the ability to stand up against you, to be umuntu, basically.
As you're talking about that, a few weeks ago, we had a guest. She's got epilepsy. She was saying, I asked her, Guti, what causes it? Like, how does she feel? She's like, you know what? When someone says to me, I'm ugly, and all those words, it triggers me.
Yes.
And immediately I get those seizures. Because I cannot respond. I want to attack you, but this thing, this person is saying I'm ugly.
And I think it's not just a person who suffers from some sort of illness or disability. It's everyone. If you tell me that I can't do something more than once or more than once, a lot, like if it's at the back of my mind is gonna play that, oh my God, I can't do this. Which is why I think when you have children, you need to. It's positive affirmations. That's how people are able to survive and to do great when you affirm them positively. And if someone then is every day giving you negative feedback, how are you going to be able to stand up against them and stand up to be a great person? Yes. And like I was listening to it the other day, and they're like, what, the five affirmations in a relationship. So they're like, at work, do you also need them?
Yes.
And people are like, yes, you do. We do. You want that positive feedback. Oh my, you're doing great. You want that, like, oh my God,
you
that
did
touch.
Well today.
We are human. We need that. So now if someone that, especially your partner, is not giving that to you, like, what can you do? Because yes, you're at work, and then if at work someone is stressing you, who do you go to? I go back to my partner and say, oh my God, you know what? Oh my God, she did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the person I complain to. So if the person you're supposed to offload to is also like, you know,
yeah, kunzima nje.
yeah.
No, sis Yolanda, no, it's hectic.
We laugh, but it's bad.
It is, you know, even the laugh, yeah, kunzima.
Mm.
Another thing, let's look into the factors that can lead to EGBVF.
All right. So we spoke about it, the cultural impact, the cultural aspects of it. That's one. And also the cultural aspects of it, you have the normalization, basically. We have normalized it so much that there's nothing we can, like, it seems like it's a part of life. So we have normalized it. It's okay. No, I'm shy. It's okay.
It's okay.
It happens every Friday, type of thing. As a society, we have just normalized GBV. And then also the gender norms. So we all come from families where we have norms.
Yes.
And then those also can perpetuate into GBV, because so we are from different walks of life. Guinea, they taught you differently. At home, they taught me differently. Yes. And then now we meet and those clash.
Two things. Yeah.
Yes. So Mina, I'm raised in a patriarchal home. Indoda does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, Indoda must. Indoda has.
It's the head.
It's the head. It's the word is the last word. Then you come from a home where we are all equal.
Yeah.
And then now we in a relationship, and then you want to then enforce your beliefs onto me.
Of course.
And then that's where we also clash. Because now how I must do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know? Yes. So those also play a part, because I come from our families, our background play a role big on the GBV aspect. So I've taught them that, and then also remember, men are the providers, right?
Yep.
So if a man can't provide, it's away at them. Because of what they've been taught, the patriarchal society that we live in. So then the woman is a provider, the woman does this, because now you feel belittled. You then start to show, okay, no, I have to affirm my power in some way or form in this relationship. And what is that? You're beating her up. And also sometimes we might think that because he's beating her up, she had nothing to do with it. Remember as well.
Yes. Yes. I'm actually thinking of it.
Yes. So remember, I'm not working, you working. Yeah, I figure every day. How are you useless? How you know? And then at some point, because you can't, you can't provide. You can't do anything. So now you're cutting as a mundo, and then you beat her up. It's not an excuse, but it's what happens.
Because the woman was doing this, now you're like,
yes.
Let me just retaliate.
And then the other thing you spoke about sexual violence, there's date rape.
Yes.
And I think now, more than ever, because we live in this social media frenzy world, everyone wants to go be seen, everyone wants to create content and everything. We want to drink the most expensive drinks when we go into the most exclusive clubs.
Online dating.
Yes. So I go out, but I'm going to go out with John. John is going to be buying me drinks. John then expects me to sleep with him.
Yeah, because
he bought me drinks, he bought me this, he bought me that. So, and sometimes because, like I'm saying, I can, if I don't say yes, I want to sleep with you, it's rape. So then because now John feels that he is entitled to sleep with you because he bought you drinks or you went on a date with him, that's date rape. And I feel that our young ones, our like the teenagers, the young adults, they're more at risk.
Yes.
The university students are more at risk because they're the ones who are exploring, they're going out, and it happens to them. And sometimes you don't even report it because you're so embarrassed because this person actually bought me drinks. Yep. Your friends will say, actually, my friend Mara, what were you expecting? Yeah. So you also made to feel that you were at fault because you accepted his drink. Yes. You accepted going into his car. You accepted going on a holiday with him. What were you expecting?
Oh gosh, now you feel guilty, of course.
Yes, I brought this onto myself.
Oh, this Yolanda.
It's very tough. It's very tough.
Hey, let's look into this factor, socialization. You know this thing we teach a girl you do the chores, boys don't cry.
Yeah.
Those things.
So like I'm saying, the patriarchal society that we live in, girls cook, girls clean, girls do this, the boys do the garden.
Yeah.
Or they go play.
Yeah.
But that is bola ngaphandle, you know?
Yeah.
And so you socialize your girl child to be the homemaker, the home taker, while the boy child does nothing.
Imagine.
And then also because, and you know, one other thing is because we grow, like I'm saying, we normalize it. So in your home, I'm going back, sorry. So in your home, your father beats up your mother, right? And then you, as a girl child, you see your mom cleaning and cooking, your father does nothing.
Yeah.
And then you grow up as a boy child, as a girl child, normalizing that.
Yes.
And then as a boy child, you expect your girlfriend 20 years down the line to do the same thing. Yeah. And then as a girl child, you think you expected to do everything around the house. And some people as well, if your man does not beat you up because you grew up seeing this, you're like, and you also provoke him because you're like, but my dad used to do this. My mom was okay with it. And you provoke him because you're like, I want that thing because ngibone kai. So that's the socialization that we have a problem with, because you see this at home. You want it to happen to you because you think it's right.
Doesn't it also affect you, psychologically? Because now you want him to akshay and something.
Yes, because that's the only form of love you know. Love. In inverted commas, because that's what you saw growing up. So you're socialized to in this realm of life, and that's what you think is right.
And you're used to it.
And you're used to it. And like I had a client a few years ago, and he was beating his girlfriend, the mother of his children. And I'm like, so I'm asking about his upbringing. And he's like, yeah, that's what happened at home. Like it was the norm. But I'm like, then how did it make you feel when you saw your mom like that? Yes. He's like, I didn't like it. So I'm like, then how then how do you think your children feel when you do this? Yeah. If you didn't like it, then how do you think your children are feeling when they see you doing this?
Sis Yolanda, as you're talking about that, I'm remembering something. I was having a conversation with someone. We also need to look at Mutuo from the young age, like you're saying. What happened? Because a lot of people suffered from Bane Bale Banyan. Now growing up, it's those things, you know what, I need to do this. Yeah. But Linda as Mutu, I need to say, but I need to change it. I cannot bring whatever it's and just apply it.
True. I read somewhere that we can grow up in a home together. Same circumstances, but Sipo completely different. Yes. Because we're seeing it through different eyes. So I can see it as the fact that I saw my mom be beaten up. I don't want that for myself.
True. Yeah.
And someone else can say, I saw my mom being beaten up. It was okay. Yeah. So it just depends on you. How do you want to change the cycle? Do you want to relive it? Do you want to be better? It's all up to the person.
Because so as much no, you don't dwell on those things. You move, you teach the others who are coming. No, it's not okay.
But sometimes I also think that with us, because we saw our parents parent this way, we think it's the right thing.
Of course.
And I was telling of someone the last week, actually, that she was complaining about her child and the child's behavior. And I'm like, but did you sit down with the child and speak to the child?
True.
And he's like, no, but you can't then say there's something wrong with the child and then not address it. Something must have happened to trigger that.
Yes.
So you as a parent need to go back to say, this started when?
Yes.
What happened at that time? Yeah. Let me then address what had happened. So we as people also need to make sure that we are different from our parents, because we saw things. Like, for example, if I saw my mom being beaten up, I'm expecting her to sit down with me and talk to me and make me understand what's happening, so that I then can say, okay, this is right, this is wrong.
This is wrong.
So it's up to as much as the parents are also going through their own traumas and whatever, but as it's their responsibilities at the end of the day to actually sit down with their children and make them understand, so the children can also make proper decisions later on.
Oh yes, that's what we need.
Yeah.
Sis Yolanda, I need to ask this one. Does substance abuse, I mean, yes, substance abuse is it also part of it, the cause?
Substance abuse can also play a cause. Because, sometimes other people are shy people. You are reserved, you do the right thing. But as soon as you have substances, you become a different person. You're an extrovert, you do this, you do that. You become a totally different person to the person you normally are when you're not on substances. And then, but I also don't want to blame substances, because sometimes you do things when you are under the influence that you wanted to do, but you didn't have ismidi to do it.
Yes. That's so true.
Yes. But substance abuse does play a role. It is one of the factors that of GBV.
Wow. So, let's just look into the ways to help someone who's in a situation yet GBV. How do we assist and help?
Professionally, I'd say that you need to make the person aware, number one, that they are in an abusive relationship. Remember, I told you that sometimes they don't even know.
Yes, yeah.
So the person needs to first be aware that they are being abused. And it's so difficult to actually tell the person to leave the relationship. Because remember, I said others, they isolate you so much, you have nowhere to go. So also, before you leave, you need to have that support structure. You need to have support around you, to people to go to.
Yes.
Because it's not easy leaving if you have no one.
True.
And it's actually the most difficult for a victim when they leave, because that's when they actually get killed. That's when the femicide kicks in.
Yeah.
Because the moment you leave, that's the most dangerous it is for a victim.
Because you'll never know if you'll be stalked or this is gonna happen.
Yeah. So the help that you can give them is to empower them. Number one. So you have to empower your victim to actually make that decision to leave, to find resources around them to make her leave or him leave. Yes. So as social development, we have shelters that they can go to. These shelters are there to house them. We give them counseling. We empower them so that they can actually make that decision to leave. But then the other thing is that with the shelter, you have to fix here, and you must also fix outside, because you're gonna go outside eventually. You're gonna go back to this person if you're married. You're gonna go back to this home
and face everything.
So what we try to do is that we have to empower the woman, but also try and fix the perpetrator. Try and not fix, but make sure the perpetrator understands that what they're doing. Make sure the perpetrator also is aware of his actions. If he's going through something, we deal with him also or her psychosocially as well. So we don't just deal with the victim. Because the victim, we have to do it holistically. Because the victim has a perpetrator.
Of course.
And the perpetrator has issues that he or she is dealing with. So we try to do it a full package.
Wow. As you're talking about shelters, I'm thinking about those. Yes, she decides, I'm going to the shelter. Then after a week or two, like back to square one.
Yeah, they go back. No, it's our reality.
Oh.
Weekend, it's not for me. I'm going back. And we can't judge those people. We have to give them the time. We have to give them the space to heal. Because you're not going to heal in one day. You've been abused for how many years?
Of course.
And you expect the person to be okay in one day or in 2 days or a week. It can never happen like that. Like I'm saying, that person has to first be empowered. That person first needs to accept that this is my situation. So, and we can't, as social workers, as psychologists, as the health professionals, we can't tell the people what to do. I can't tell you as a victim, go to a shelter. I can't tell you leave him. I can't do that. You need to decide. You need to it needs to be from within. You must self-actualize. You must say, actually, guys, I'm in this situation. How can I make it better for myself? How can I make it better for my children? And speaking of children, the one reason why women stay is because of their children.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I know I must stay because I want my children to have a a healthy. I want to have them to be nuclear family. Or I'm staying because this man is a provider. Or no, I'm staying because people stay for a myriad of reasons. But as soon as they decide that actually no, I'm done. I'm
done.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm up to here. That's only when they can actually leave. You can do whatever it is that you want. I can take them to a shelter 50 times. But at the moment when this person has not accepted it or it has not clicked that actually this is happening, they will never leave.
They will never.
So our job as professionals is to just empower that person, give them all the skills, the tools, the information they need for them to that when that day eventually comes, then they walk away. And trust me, it is a lot because you're like, oh my God, I'm not getting through to this person. It's not happening. And it's not going to happen in one day, in a week, in a month.
Of course, yeah.
And it's frustrating for us because you're thinking, oh my God, she came for assistance, but she's not doing what she wants to do. But it's because we've never been in that situation, we'll never understand. But
I always say that, yeah.
But for our job is to just support, give information, be there. You know, yesterday I had a client come in the office to talk.
Oh.
Just to talk.
Yeah.
And I gave them that space.
Just talk.
Because she's going through it. She's going through whatever she's going through. And she came there and she's like, I want a shelter.
Oh God.
But then I asked her, and she's like, but I just came back from a shelter. No, okay, so then what do you think this time will be different? And she's like, actually, it's not going to be different because I'm going to go to the shelter. I'm going to go back to him.
You see.
I'm like, okay, so then what do you think you must do to break that cycle?
Yes.
So we just had a conversation and I let her lead the conversation because it's her life.
Of course.
Now I was just there to listen because that's what she wanted.
She wants.
And when she left my office yesterday, she's like, thank you. I felt empowered because now I know that a shelter is not going to help me, but I need to change my situation.
That's so true. She needed to have the talk.
Yes, because yes, it's right. I can take her to a shelter. That's not a problem. The problem is she's going to go back to that situation.
Over and over again.
Yes. So ours is to just empower the person, give information, and just allow them the freedom to express themselves and eventually decide when they decide to leave. But others stick it out and want to change their partner and want help for their partners. And we also do that. We also talk to the perpetrators. We give them, we give guidance, we give help, we take them to counseling. Wow. We give psychosocial assistance to the perpetrators because also they're going through whatever they're going through that makes them perpetrators.
Yeah.
Yes, there's trauma that they're dealing with that they're not dealing with. Yeah.
Sis Yolanda, now, as someone we are with Department of Social Development, please can you also give our contact to this is what you guys are doing. If people need to get in touch with you, how can they get hold of you?
All right. So what we do, we also do awareness campaigns. So we go to the communities, go to radio stations. We just give people information of where they can find us, what services that we offer. So we are at 41 Fox Street, Johannesburg Metro. That's they can come there.
Yes.
They can do walk-ins. We allow walk-ins. We allow our clients to just walk in and speak to us. We also have the gender-based violence command center. The toll-free line, and it's 24 hours.
Yes.
So at 3 o'clock in the morning, if you feel that you are going through it, he's beating you up now, you want help, they are there. The number is 0800 428 428. And like I said, it's 24/7.
Yes.
You can call anytime. You can call when you're in, it's nationwide. So if in Mpumalanga, if you are in Venda, if you are in Vaba, you can call in.
Yeah.
And there's different languages as well. They speak all the official languages just to make you feel comfortable as well. Yeah. So that's the number that we can have toll free at 24/7. And like I'm saying, it's a national number. So wherever you are, you can call in, and social workers in that region where you are in will be there to assist you.
Wow. I hope I'm not leaving out anything because we're about to wrap up. Are you
I,
okay?
I, I
From
hope I do.
from your
I hope I do not
department?
leave out anything.
I really
there's
thank
a
you,
there's a
sis.
there's a lot to
There's
speak
a lot.
about, but I really hope that I said
Shy, we left some
no.
things,
I really hope I said everything I can say.
Yeah.
Yes.
But for me, I'm glad ukuthi we got to learn about this thing. And I hope ukuthi nabantu basekhaya are going to say, okay, at least now I understand this and that. That's what we need. We're trying to raise awareness for people.
I hope so. And with awareness raising, every month on the 25th of the month we have GBV Awareness Day. So it's orange and black, hence
She's
the colors.
Orange.
So the official colors is orange and black. And then on the 25th of November, we start our 16 days of activism against women and children, where we also go out there and just educate and promote our services to the communities about GBV and our services to women and children as the Department of Social Development, as well as other departments that deal with the scourge that we're dealing with.
Wow. Sis Yolanda, continue doing the amazing job. We really love and appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a blessing.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Ko gae, ka Setswana ga teng ngwana o sa leng o swela thareng. So right now we're raising an awareness gore o itse go go tsagalang ka kgang e ya GBV. So re kopa go ikopanya le rona on our socials. I am at Chami_Moroke. And also hit us on our comments mona or fela o itse keng donning experience with Chami Moroke. Re ka itumela go tla gore what are you thinking, and tell us gore wena o feel yang ka kgang ena. Thank you so much for joining us. Ka lebitso ke Chami wa ka Moroke. Ke mina noko ke Mosebwa dira. Ke go lebogile thata.